Good day everyone, I am Rosenda Napolitano, one of the reporters of Chapter 7, The Developments of Visual Arts in the Philippines. And my topic is about the developments of painting in the Philippines. Introduction. Artistic paintings were introduced to the Filipinos in the 16th century when the Spaniards arrived in the Philippines. During this time, the Spaniards used paintings as religious propaganda to spread Catholicism throughout the Philippines. These paintings, appearing mostly on the church walls, featured religious figures appearing in Catholic teachings. Due to the church supervision of Filipino art and the Spanish occupation of the Philippines, the purpose of most paintings from the 16th to 19th century were to aid the Catholic Church. So what is Philippine art? Philippine art refers to the work of art that developed since the beginning of civilization in the Philippines up to the present era. It reflects to the society with wide range of diverse cultural influences and how it honed the culture and the arts of the country. Philippine art can be referred to visual arts, performing arts, sculpture, and textiles. Then, what is the meaning of painting in the Philippines? Painting is a way for artists to do so many things: express emotions, convey ideas, and sometimes make a change in society. And these works of art reflect a nation's culture. More than being aesthetically pleasing, the Filipino paintings show the country's culture and history that shape the present times. In American period, when the Americans took over the government of the islands after the Spanish-American War, they brought with them a source of patronage for Philippine artists as well as a demand for different subject matter. Fabian de la Rosa's paintings gained a great measure of acclaim during this period. Rosa's work was characterized by realistic subject and a soft, cool palette of colors. Some of Fabian de la Rosa's paintings: Houseboats in a River. The art of Fabian de la Rosa is considered to reflect the transition from Spanish rule to American occupation. Subdued landscapes and genre paintings with impressionistic influence became the art of choice in the era of uncertainty and broken hopes. Young Filipina, 1928. De la Rosa spearheaded the student body in petitioning the governments to hold the quadrennial contest for the pensionadship to the Madrid Art Academy in June of 1896. The petition was approved by the authorities, but the outbreak of the revolution impeded its implementation for the next 2 years. In April 1898, the Second Revolution was on the brink of exploding, so the contest was considered an exercise futurity. Despite of this, De la Rosa won the scholarship just when the Spanish regime was nearing collapse. On January 13, 1900, he welcomed the 20th century by marrying Gorgonia Tolentino. Although the couple was childless, their house was filled with the presence of their orphan nephews, Pablo and Fernando Abarsolo, who stayed with them in 1903. Planting rice. In 1904, De la Rosa won his first gold medal for planting rice in the St. Louis Exposition. 4 years later, in 1908, when the University of the Philippines School of Fine Arts was founded, De la Rosa received a scholarship from the Germinal Cigar Factory to study in Europe as a scholar. He attended the academic de Julian in Paris, and the Academia de Bellas Artes de San Fernando in Madrid. The school attended by Juan Luna Felix Resurrección Hidalgo and later on Fernando Amorso. When he returned to the Philippines in 1910, he joined the distinguished faculty of the UP School of Fine Arts, which consisted of outstanding alumni, scholars, and professors of the old academy. Don Rafael Enriquez, 1850 to 1927, the first director of the School of Fine Arts. Jose Asuncion, 1869 to 1925, Teodoro Buenaventura, Vicente Francisco, Sculpture, 1866 to 1937, Antonio Garcia, Engraver, Joaquin Maria Herrera, Vicente Rivera, and Miguel Zaragoza. El Condiman. This realistic painting features a musical gathering or song concert in the afternoon hours. It is an interior scene set in the spacious and carpeted sala or salon of an ilustrado house. Numerous human figures are in formal wear, but the focus of the painting is a female singer standing beside a piano as she sings a condiman to the accompaniment of a male pianist. The audience is engrossed in the music they are listening to. The details of the painting show that those figures belong to the period's elite. Who is Fabian de la Rosa? Don Fabian de la Rosa Ecuato, May 5, 1966 to December 14, 1337, was a Filipino painter. He was the uncle and mentor to the Philippines' national artist in painting, Fernando Amorso, and to his brother Pablo. He is regarded as a master of genre in Philippine art. Another popular artist who got his start during the American era was Fernando Amorsolo Ecuato. Amorsolo's paintings were idealized visions of the sun-drenched Philippine landscape and its inhabitants. Some of Fernando Amorsolo Ecuato's painting, Antipolo, depicting Filipinos celebrating a town fiesta to illustrate the work of the artist, traditional Filipino painting, and societal norms embodied in the subject of the painting, a town fiesta. Defense of a Filipino woman's honor, which is representative of Amorsolo's World War II era paintings here. A Filipino man defends a woman who is either his wife or daughter from being raped by an unseen Japanese soldier. Note. Who is Fernando Amorsolo Ecuata? Fernando Amorsolo Ecuata was one of the most important artists in the history of painting in the Philippines. Amorsolo was a portraitist and painter of rural Philippines landscapes. He is popularly known for his craftsmanship and mastery in the use of light. Amorsolo was the Dean of the University of the Philippines School of the Fine Arts from 1952 to 1955. His work and his leadership at the college inspired the development of the Amorsolo School of Painting. Other painting in the American period, Battle of Manila Bay, May 1, 1898. The Battle of Manila Bay, also known as the Battle of Cavite, took place on May 1, 1898 during the Spanish-American War. The American Asiatic Squadron under Commander George Dewey engaged and destroyed the Spanish Pacific Squadron under Contra-Almirante Patracio Montojo, knocking out the Moros, Americans of 18th Infantry, and the Philippine squads personally led by Brigadier General John J. Pershing brought to an end years of bitter struggle against the Moro pirates. These Bolomen, outlaws of great physical endurance and savage fighting ability, were well organized under their datus or chiefs. Admiral Dewey at the Battle of Manila, contemporary colored print depicting Commodore George Dewey on the bridge of his flagship USS Olympia during the Battle of Manila Bay, May 1, 1898, courtesy of the Naval Historical Foundation collection of C.J. Utrecht. Painting during Spanish period. The Spanish friars introduced Western painting in the Philippines to artisans who learned to copy on two-dimensional from the religious icons that friars brought from Spain. For the first centuries of Spanish colonization, painting was limited to religious icons. Portraits of saints and of the Holy Family became a familiar sight in churches. Other subject matters include the Passion of Christ, the Via Crucis, the Crucifixion, Portrayal of Heaven, Purgatory, and Hell. The Academia. Simon Flores de la Rosa, one who studied at Academia. His paintings, Saint John the Baptist, Madonna, and Child feeding chickens. Lorenzo Guerrero. He also studied at Academia and considered a master in non-religious and creative painting. His paintings include From the Market. He used watercolor. Felipe Rosas, landscape painter, works Search of Antipolo. Search of Antipolo by Felipe Rosas and Saint John the Baptist by Simon Flores de la Rosa. This is the famous painting from the Academia. Painters from the Visayas Island of Bohol. Painters from the Visayas Island of Bohol were noted for their skillful manipulation of that technique. Their paintings of saints and religious scenes show figures in frontal and static positions. For the Boholano painters, the more important persons would be depicted bigger than the rest of the figures. Christ normally dwarfs the Roman soldiers in these paintings. Unfortunately, they did not sign their name on their works and no record of their name exists. Academic style. The academic style was favored by the church and government and was used for religious icons. The Minatory style, though, was favored by Ilustrado patrons and continued to prosper. History of Filipino painters. Several Filipino painters had the chance to study and work abroad. Among them were Juan Novesio Luna and Felix Resurrection Hidalgo, who became the first international Filipino artist when they won the gold and silver medals in the 1884 Madrid Exposition. Luna's academic painting Spoliarium won gold medal. It showed the dead of dying Roman gladiators being dragged into the basement of the Colosseum. It is often interpreted as an allusion to Imperial Spain's oppression of the natives. Though winning the gold medal, Luna was not awarded the Medal of Excellence, the top award for the competition, because he was a Filipino. The King of Spain, the assuaged Luna's feelings, commissioned him to paint the battle at Lepanto. Hidalgo won the silver medal for Virgins Christianas Expostal al Populatio, or Christian Virgins exposed to the public. the feat of Luna and Hidalgo caught the attention of Dr. Jose Rizal, the Philippines' national hero, that in the gathering of Filipinos in Madrid, they gave a speech praising Luna and Hidalgo for their mastery and nationalism.